What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Momo back with another video, man. As y'all can see, we got the Dynasty mode deep dive right now. You know what I'm saying? 20 seconds away. We're gonna react to it, and then we're gonna give you guys a little bit of information about what Dynasty has to have from their website of EA. And yeah, man, that's just what we're gonna get into on this video, man. Stay tuned. Go ahead and get into this, man. We got a 6-minute video, man. Let's see what they got for us.
Hey everyone, Kirk Herbstreit here with EA Sports College Football 25, back for another deep dive. This time we're talking about everyone's favorite mode, Dynasty. Online Dynasty,
we've seen a little bit of the
25 can accommodate up to
menu.
32 teams, and you can play with friends for up to 30 seasons. Today we'll take a closer look at the new 12-team college football playoff, recruiting, the transfer portal, and a ton of customization options to make your program unique. College football has seen seismic changes over the past few years. And in EA Sports College Football 25, you can experience this new landscape while building your program the way you want. The 2024 season marks the debut of the new 12-team college football playoff, and you can play it first in the game months before the real thing. You could be the first coach to lead your school through the new 12-team playoff and hoist the college football playoff trophy.
Oh, that's tough.
Recruiting is the lifeblood of college football.
Recruiting, here we go.
In the world of unlimited transfers, managing your dynasty roster has never been more important.
Schedule visit
and opportunities for talent upgrades at the start of each season. The best way to build a powerhouse is to recruit through the high school ranks. So let's fill up your recruiting board. Each year, over 3,500 high school recruits are generated from all over the country.
3,500
representing real-world hotspots.
Got 35 scholarships to give out.
Florida and Metro Atlanta. Do research to find recruits that best fit your program and determine who you can realistically land.
No, this is tough.
A recruit's interest in your school is decided by 14 different pitch grades like proximity to home, playing time, and brand exposure. So you'll need to discover how your program's pitch grades align with your recruit's desires, in addition to scouting for talent. Some players have a deal breaker requirement, and if your program cannot provide
deal breaker playing time. True.
Deal breakers also drive a player's decision to enter the transfer portal. Monitor at-risk players and get one last chance to convince your favorites to stay. Track your recruits as they narrow down their
that's
top
crazy.
schools. Pitch a prospect to gain more interest, and then set up school visits when the timing is right. It's crucial to remain in their top 10, then 8, then 5 to finally be part of their top 3.
That's
As the
tough.
recruit trims down to the top 8, you can attempt to increase your appeal. If your school doesn't have exactly what the prospect is looking for, you can try to sway their opinion in your favor. Plan visits that elevate a recruit's experience, like pairing a quarterback visit with a wide receiver visit at the same time.
That's tough.
To keep an eye
You
on
can
the
schedule when you want players to come at the same time so they could build that chemistry, I guess.
From recruiting. Add portal prospects to your board just like you would with recruiting, but expect quick decisions as transfers have a shorter timeline to land a new home. Conference
showed us a little bit of the portal.
College football. And with custom conferences in EA Sports College Football 25, Dynasty is yours to control. See what a 20-team super conference might look like, or revert to the traditional conference alignment. Shape the conference size and membership, and set custom conference rules, set up divisions, and more. Once you've settled your conference options, it's time to select your team. Begin with a highly ranked team and dominate at the top with repeat recruiting and playoff success. Or build from the ground up with a smaller program and prove you have what it takes to go from an unknown to postseason favorite. We can't talk about your dynasty without talking
Creation
about
of
your
the
starting
coach.
job. Start as an offensive or defensive coordinator and climb the ranks to head coach, or take over a program as the head coach right away. Choose from one of the 3 base coaching types to start.
Motivator, recruiter,
Your coach type will
tactician.
determine what coaching skill tree you start with. From there, the abilities you acquire as you progress will determine what kind of coach you develop into. Unlock additional skill trees with better abilities. Or, if you build up multiple skill trees, you can unlock hybrid trees that leverage a more diverse skill set.
Oh, that's
The
tough.
coaching carousel is an important part of every coach's journey. Whether you're the head man at your dream school or working your way up, the carousel is your way of fielding offers from other programs. Head coaches in
Let's get some
Dynasty can
offers.
actively manage their coordinator positions. So if one of your staff takes a job elsewhere, or you decide to cut ties for other reasons, you can use the carousel to replace them. Remember, even the greatest coaches need support, and every coach has a unique skill tree. It's important to think about how you want to build your staff, whether that's doubling down on your existing strengths to max out your benefits or seeking out balance for a well-rounded staff. Choose wisely. The decisions you make here will matter to your program's success and your coach's progression. The benefits of coach talents are stackable. So if your head coach and defensive coordinator have the same ability, the impact for that ability will be greater.
Not as tough.
Well, that's it for today's deep dive into Dynasty mode in EA Sports College Football 25. To make it game day every day this
Nah,
season,
that's tough,
the
man.
MVP
That's super
bundle.
tough. I'm not gonna lie. That was tough. That was a good deep dive. So let's go ahead and get into the Campus Huddle blog post here about the deep dive, Dynasty deep dive. It's supposed to be 80 pages, so we're gonna kind of not skim through, but we're gonna kind of summarize each section. We're not really gonna read the whole thing, but if you guys do want to read the whole thing for yourselves, you guys can go to their to the EA College Football website, and they will have the Campus Huddle on there for you guys to check out. So pretty much the building your dynasty is pretty much EA explaining how they talk to multiple different coaches, current and prior coaches. Like they said, you could be a great recruiter, or you could be a motivator, or you could just be a tactician, so there's different ways to being a great coach. And you can build your coach from the ground up by being a coordinator, offensive or defense coordinator at a smaller school, or you can start by being a head coach at a main time school. They give you that versatility to decide where you start your career, and eventually being a great coach, because no coach is the same. There's no direct path to being a great coach, so they're giving you that variability, and you could be versatile and have a different path as everyone else. Next, we have the coach's progression. The maximum level you can reach is 50, and you do that by playing games, and having long-term and short-term goals that can be single game, weekly, season, or career goals. So they have draft goals, they have game goals, they have recruiting goals, and they have stat goals. It can be something from game stats where you get an interception and a rushing touchdown, or you can have a full game result, which would be beating your rival or beating a top 25 team, or even winning a national championship. So those are really cool. I really like that for the coach progression. And as well as they said, they added 5 progression speed settings, so we can modify how fast coach's progression is in your own dynasty. So that's really, really cool. You can slow the progression down, or you can speed it up. After completing a game or advancing the week, you'll receive XP summary screens showing your progression to the next level. So here are the coach archetypes. Everyone has 3 options as how they want their coach to start off. You can be a recruiter, you could be a motivator, or you could be a tactician. As you progress, you will be able to unlock different ability combinations and progression paths, leading to a stronger customization. You could become an expert in a single category, or you could become a hybrid, and focusing on one area could leave your team vulnerable. Remember, no coach can be great at everything. Once you purchase an ability, there is no going back, as you will not be able to respec your coach. So pick wisely. Here they go over how you upgrade your archetype and what it does. Each archetype has a set of prerequisites and objectives that must be completed in order to purchase them. For example, in order to become an elite recruiter, you must spend 50 coach points in the recruiter archetype and sign 2 top 5 recruiting classes. Once these objectives are complete, you'll be able to purchase the next archetype with coach points. Once you purchase a new archetype with coach points, it unlocks totally new different abilities as well as new opportunities in the coaching carousel. For example, Tactician has a winner perk which awards additional coach XP every time you win a game. Your active archetype is automatically determined if you own a program builder or CEO archetype. If you don't have one of these, then your active archetype is the archetype you have spent the most coach points in. All your coach's abilities will always be on regardless of which archetype is currently active. As you spend coach points in each archetype, the spider graph in the center of the screen will morph and change to show your coach's DNA in the Dynasty Hub. How coach abilities work. In College Football 25, they have more than 50 coach abilities. Each ability can have up to 4 tiers, and every tier has a purchase cost associated with it. Scheme Guru, Program Builder, and CEO have their abilities broken down by position group. No longer is a coach great at recruiting classes across the board. Now coaches will specialize in specific position groups, making your staff composition that much more important. Scheme Guru archetype focuses on your gameplay style. If you're a coach who likes to play fast, you can upgrade your fast tempo offense, providing you with the following boost: battery pack, caught napping, on their heels, tipped your hand. You can also make your team a well-oiled machine who doesn't work against themselves and is unfazed by rowdy home field crowds by upgrading the discipline and communication ability. Balance is critically important, so there are defensive counters to all the offensive play style abilities. What about coordinators? Both coordinators and head coaches have the same set of abilities and archetypes available to them, leading to the natural progression from coordinator to head coach. Your coordinators will automatically progress their archetypes and abilities. You will not be able to control which abilities they purchase, nor will you be able to respec your coordinator's abilities. This adds an even more importance to how you progress your coach and manage your staff in the coaching carousel. When creating your dynasty, you will have the option to select whether you want to be a head coach, an offensive coordinator, or a defensive coordinator. All these positions have performance expectations, and all roles will have full control over recruiting and have the ability to play both sides of the ball during gameplay. Every time you start a new coaching job, you'll be asked to sign a contract with that school. The contract will have a set contract length and performance expectations. Just like in real life, failure to meet those expectations will result in bad things happening. You have the opportunity to look at the past 20 years and see what kind of program you are taking over. Of course, your program's history will continue to update over time as you play your dynasty, and you will have the ability to leave the contract at any time. The better the school and the higher the expectation. There are 4 types of contract expectations: win X games, win a conference championship, make the college football playoffs, and win a national championship. Your job security will fluctuate throughout the season based on your performance. If you do not meet your contract expectations, then your job security will be hit. If your job security gets too low, you will end up on a hot seat. And if the seat gets too hot, you'll be fired and you'll have to look for a new job in the coaching carousel. Now, if you are meeting your contract expectations, then your job security will go up. But if you don't like this, then you will always have the option to turn off coach firing in the dynasty settings. Each school has a school persona, which determines what they are looking for in their next coach. Schools will evaluate candidates across the following criteria: level, scheme, archetype, pipeline, and coach prestige. Managing your staff will be very important this year, as you will be able to hire and fire coordinators if you are a head coach. You will not be able to do everything, so it is important to surround yourself by good coordinators. Build your program. Players can now transfer whenever they want, and they have expectations for you and your program. Some are looking to play early, others want to win championships and play in big time games, and stars want to grow their brand beyond the field. Aligning what you and your program can do for them has never been more important. In College Football 25, there will be 3 distinct phases of recruiting: discovery, pitch, and close. Where the recruit is in their process will dictate how you interact with them and the level of engagement they will require. Every team is graded from D- to an A+ across 14 different categories. No 2 programs are the same, and the grades will dynamically change over the course of the dynasty based on school performances and actions. The 14 grades are the following: playing time, playing style, championship contender, program tradition, campus lifestyle, stadium atmosphere, pro potential, brand exposure, academic prestige, conference prestige, coach prestige, coach stability, athletic facilities, proximity from home. Now, I feel like EA really did their thing with this, which is where the recruits are from. And it says that every single season there will be more than 3,500 recruits that are generated from across the country. And just like in real life, every class will be different, and certain regions will be more consistent in the caliber and the quality and type of recruits they produce than others. So, you know, Texas and California and Florida will be producing more recruits than, you know, like a Wyoming or South Dakota. So that's really cool. And EA went even more deeper than that and focused exactly what each state are more known for. So for example, if you take a Texas wide receiver, they're going to be more bigger and physical than a Florida wide receiver, which is going to be more known for being a deep threat, and they're going to be, you know, faster, like a Tyreek Hill. There will be specific recruiting hours based off your school's prestige and, you know, how many stars your program is. So a 5-star program will have 1,000 recruiting hours, and a lower 1-star program will only have 350 program hours. Now, during the preseason and during the off season, those will change because you don't have to prepare for a Saturday game. So you may get more hours to spend on recruiting during those times. In addition, each recruit will have a maximum of 50 hours that you can spend on them for recruiting, but you will be able to upgrade that to 70 hours if you have an ability called always be crewing. Before scouting a player, you will only be able to see their star rating, their height, their weight, their hometown, their position, and the archetype. You will see question marks on their attributes, abilities, and development trait. Each attribute has 4 states of recruiting: unscouted, partially scouted, most scouted, fully scouted. Finding the ideal pitch is very important because each recruit has 3 motivations. Your goal is to discover their ideal pitch as quickly as possible so that you know their motivation aligns with your program and that you have the information you need when the beginning of pitch 2 starts. Once you figure all that out, these are some of the 5 recruiting actions you're able to take: offer scholarship, search social media, DM the player, contact friends and family, send the house. It's time to influence the recruit to come to your school. And there's 2 ways to do that. 1, soft sell, and hard sell. The 3rd stage is close, which you will be able to bring your recruit in for an official visit. Now, this can only happen when they are down to their top 5 schools, and you will have needed to offer them a scholarship. A recruit can only come on an official visit if you have a bye week or if you have a home game. And home games have a very big impact on the recruit deciding if they want to come to your school or not. Based on who you guys are playing, it will have a higher or lower impact. So if you guys are playing a top 25 team, or if you're playing a rival, it will have a way bigger impact than if you're playing a regular school. And it is important for you to have certain positions visit at the same time. For example, if you have a quarterback coming, you might want to have a left tackle visit at the same time, you know, just so they can build that chemistry and to get a complimentary bonus. As we know, the transfer portal is continuously growing. So EA decided to incorporate the transfer portal as well. Just like recruits, player on your rosters can have deal breakers, and any recruit that has a deal breaker will keep their deal breaker when they join your roster. Remember, deal breakers can be thought of as a promise between you and a player, so make sure you're making the right decisions when you're picking up these players. Every season, you are required to have 85 players on your roster. So unfortunately, if you have over that, then you will have to encourage some of your players to hit the transfer portal. If you are below the 85 players on your roster, you can still encourage players to hit the transfer portal to make room for your new players coming in next season. If you sign an athlete, you'll be able to assign them to a certain position that you may need or that your depth chart is not very strong on. So imagine if you have a guy like Travis Hunter on your team, where he can play both sides of the ball, corner or wide receiver. Yes, it will be good, but maybe you don't have that much depth on the corner side of the ball. With that being said, maybe you want to lock him as a corner instead of being able to play both sides of the ball. So then that decreases, the chances of him getting hurt, and it also decreases the wear and tear on him. In Dynasty, players automatically progress attributes and their physical abilities. Mental abilities cannot be upgraded, which causes each player to be different. There are 4 different development traits: normal, impact, star, and elite. Each player has skill groups. Instead of having individual skills like trucking and jumping and stiff arming, they group them all collectively together with their related attributes. And some players will max out at level 10 and others will max out less than level 10. So pretty much it's like a player's potential. Players will also have mental and physical abilities as well, which are in 4 tiers: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Each team will at least have 1 offensive and 1 defensive impact player, but there's no limit on how many that they can have. You see what I'm saying? So minimum is 1 on each side of each team, and there's no max. So that's really cool. Just because like a powerhouse like Georgia, they might have 6 or 5 impact players on the field at one time on the offensive side of the ball. So that's really cool. Wear and tear. This has been a big discussion since they've announced wear and tear. I do believe you can turn wear and tear on and off depending on how you want to play. Me, I will probably be leaving it on, so just to get that realistic feel of the game. But they say that you can, between each week, depending on how hard you're working a certain player, they're gonna get some wear and tear damage, and you're gonna have to be able to manage that. So if you're spamming with a running back, and he bangs up his shoulder a little bit and his ankle is like severely hurt, the next following week his shoulder is going to be good, but his ankle is going to be still sore a little bit. So you might have to give him another week to fully heal, but at the same time you don't want to have him miss out on big time games. So maybe you might not use him for a certain game when you're playing a lower tier team, so just keep that in mind, using players at the right time and subbing them in and out, getting them that rest, and not just calling the same play over and over again, because that's going to result in some type of wear and tear. The new 12 team format of the college football playoffs, top 12 teams will be in a bracket, and the winner of each game will progress and eventually play for a natty. So here EA is talking about the new ability to change, being in what conference you want to be in, and they say that each conference is set to the 2024 alignment. So starting off, you'll be in the regular 2024 alignment. You'll be able to change whatever conference to whatever conference you want your team to be in, or you can just adjust every single one. Every conference you can reduce it to as few as 4 teams, or you can grow each conference to be as large as 20 teams. Also, they give you the ability to make adjustments to the conference memberships and the rules when you're starting your dynasty, as well as at the end of each season. You can change whatever you want to. So for example, if you want to change the Florida Gators from being in the SEC to putting them in the ACC, You can do that, and the jersey patch on their jerseys will change. In their example, they have James Madison in the ACC, and James Madison is actually in the Sun Belt Conference in real life. So, you know, that just shows you that not only will it change on the jerseys, but it will change on the field too as well. So whatever conference you want to change your team to, or you want to put a team in, you know, it will correspond with what's going on the field, and as well as the jerseys. Schedules. So pretty much EA has already done all in conference schedules all the way up to 30 years of your dynasty, so you don't have to worry about that. But you do have the option to change any non-conference games, and you can also change them to if you want them to be home or away, and you can also change what team you want to play against. Now, each week the broadcasting type will be determined based on what is the biggest game of the week. If your game is either a national or streaming broadcast, it will be called by Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer, and David Pollack. The game of the week will be called by Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit. And as well, just how we saw in the Sights and Sounds deep dive, if your school does a whiteout, a blackout, or checkerboard, or striping, etc., you will see those crowd themes in the first home game of the season, rival games, or if your game is game of the week. Team Builder is back. You can import up to 16 Team Builder teams in a private online dynasty. The commissioner will need to replace existing FBS schools with the Team Builder teams that they want to add. You will need to replace existing FBS schools with the Team Builder teams they want to add during their dynasty setup. Team Builder schools is only available at the creation of the league and can only be used in private online dynasties. Now let's talk about red shirts. So in college football 25, you'll be able to redshirt anyone that has played less than 4 games in the season. Now those 4 games can be played at any time, so it can be the first game of the season, and then you can sit them all the way out into the playoff game. You know what I'm saying? If your wear and tear has brought down some of your players and you need that extra guy to come in and step up, you know, you have him available to do that. Now, once that player has played their 5th game in the season, they are no longer eligible for a red shirt, but they'll be eligible for a red shirt the following year after that. If that's not your thing, no worries. Anyone who is eligible for a red shirt at the end of the season will automatically be applied. Earning some hardware, you know, they have everything in here from, you know, Heisman to national championships to rival game awards, you know, to head coach awards, to coordinator awards, to Lombardis, you know, so everything's in there. You know, you also will have All-American awards, and you will also be able to see the players of the week for your conference and in the nation. I always wanted college football to add this, so the fact that they added this is really, really cool. Pretty much is, you know, some people call them pride stickers, some people call them war stickers. You know, when I was playing football, we called them war stickers. So it's like, you know, based off your performance of the game and your accomplishments on the team, you know, you can go from a bald helmet to, you know, it being totally covered, as you can see on DJ Ugalulu's Ugalulu. I don't even know how to say his last name, but DJ Ugalui, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But as you can see, you know, like 8 or so on the back, you know, and by the end of the season, you know, it's covered. You know, then here you have Ohio State's helmet, and it's nothing on there, and then, you know, that whole side is covered at the end of the season, you know, so that's really cool. Just to be able to see the progression, not only in Dynasty but as well in Road to Glory, see the progression in the helmet, and as well as, you know, they looked at every single school and they asked every single school like the pattern that they cover their helmets in, and, you know, each team follows that same exact pattern. You know, I do think this is a really, really cool implement that they put in the game, man, and I'm just excited, man. So what else? No Dynasty deep dive is complete without going through some of the utility features of the mode. Both online and offline dynasties can go up for 30 seasons. Up to 32 users can participate in a dynasty offline or online. Only 1 user per school, You can keep track of everyone's status in the member screen. Commissioner status can be transferred from the member screen as well. Commissioners will have the ability to force a win in the event that a game was not able to be completed. And for those of you that like to restart a game versus the CPU that wasn't going your way, the number of times a game was started is tracked on the scores and schedule screen for all to see. So yeah, man, like, you know, I just wanted to, you know, take my time out of my day and, you know, go over this for you guys. You know, some of you may have not known about it or wanted to even take the time out and read it yourselves, but you know, I went ahead and read through majority of it. I say about 95%. So yeah, man, I just wanted to give you guys this video, you know, and I'm really like, I feel like this was probably the best deep dive that we have gotten so far, in terms of just, you know, information and depth. I feel like this was a true deep dive. All the other ones I feel like were kind of like a skim over. Yeah, I feel like this was a really good deep dive. It was very informative, not only just the blog, but the video, the 6-minute video that I reacted to. And yeah, man, like, I'm excited. Hopefully we see a Road to Glory deep dive pretty soon here. You know, still looking forward to some unedited gameplay, you know, still looking out for that. But I'll let you guys know if I see anything, I hear anything. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this video, man. And I'll catch you on the next video, man.